K98 Talk is expanding its lineup for 2015. This means we are expanding our advertising base. Whether you're a startup trying to push through to the next level or an established business trying to supplement your advertising budget, web-based advertising is a solid investment. Thanks to Talk's newest partnership with TuneIn Radio and instant access to our sister station, K98 FM, we give you worldwide access at a reasonable cost. Interested parties should email us at sales@k98fm.com.
In these uncertain economic times, you've got to do whatever you can to save money. One of our biggest expenses can be our cars, especially when unexpected repair bills hit. Not anymore. If you own a vehicle with less than 130,000 miles, is less than 12 years old, has a warranty about to expire, or even no warranty at all, you could stop paying for car repairs. Roadside assistance, towing, and rental coverage are all included. Don't wait for the next repair. Make one free call right now to see if you qualify. If your vehicle is less than 12 years old, has less than 130,000 miles, even if it's out of warranty, paying for car repairs can become a thing of the past. Call us right now and get your car protected before your next repair bill hits. Get protection and no more repair bills. Call 800-696-1030. Again, 800-696-1030. That's 800-696-1030. 800-696-1030.
Joe had huge problems with the IRS.
I knew it was coming. I hadn't filed taxes since 1990.
All the IRS letters coming in added up to a nightmare.
To get up to like $68,000, my heart started beating fast. It's like, there's no way, man. I mean, I ain't going to be able to do this.
Then they stopped his paycheck.
So that's when I started making phone calls and found U.S. Tax Shield.
U.S. Tax Shield went to work immediately.
They just took the bull by the horns. What blew my mind is he called the IRS right then and there.
So why is U.S. Tax Shield A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau? Joe knows.
They saved me a ridiculous amount of money.
If you owe more than $10,000 to the IRS or state, choose the company Joe chose, U.S. Tax Shield.
It was the best decision I made. U.S. Tax Shield is the way to go. Life is good. Thank you, Lord.
Call 800-471-3287.
U.S. Tax Shield. Boo-rah. Yes.
800-471-3287. 800-471-3287.
Game on, where progressives fear us and rhinos tremble. Welcome to the political jungle. I'm JD.
This is Stacey. No one is spared.
Lock up the children.
And the old folk.
Welcome to the world of liberservative conservatarians.
The NFL primary is over, and Jared Goff has won, baby. Philadelphia fans, Carson Wentz at number 2. Good Thursday evening, April 28th, 2016, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. JD and Stacey here, Game On, part of that Conservative Commandos radio network on K98 Talk. Welcome back to all our political geeks, freaks, and back alley sneaks. Everybody right now within the sound of my voice, you know exactly what to do. Get over to K98Talk.org right now. Get in that chat. Oh, to the drunkest, smartest. I tell you, they send us naked pictures from the chat room. Stop it, Ron Oive Schmier, political radio listening audience in the business. JD and Stacey, baby, your radio Adderall. Hi, how you?
I'm pretty good. How are you?
Oh, feeling a little like this.
I've been thinking about some things I thought I'd never be thinking. Too many drugs dropped into my mouth, looking for something new, but I end up drinking.
Now it feels like Thursday night, don't it, baby? Tonight, kids, we delve into Paul Manafort's background. JD and Stacey might be sleeping with his sisters after this one, baby. Will all the presidential candidates please tell the truth about manufacturing all the years, nonsense of the world, and more? Remember, guys, we're not just here live Thursday nights, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, here on K98, doing that Game On. We're live Tuesday nights, 9 p.m. Eastern as well. Sunday morning, 11 a.m., another live edition of Game On, baby. Shift gears a little bit, killing your mainstream media hangover. Friday, 5 p.m. drive time, with a drive time lead into Yahoo Sports. Big whoop. Won't fight about it. We're in that Philadelphia, Southern Jersey, Northern Delaware. Oh, and by the way, you can find us on the WNJC 1360 AM, baby. Dallas listeners, for those of you who helped Stacey get as far as we have within the past year or so, we're negotiating to come up in the Dallas market. Got ourselves a couple sponsors. Could always use a couple more. Anybody interested in advertising on or sponsoring the show, reach out to Rick, R-I-C-K, at K98Talk.org. For those of you that went to public school, that's K98Talk.org. Remember, Hooples, get over to that Facebook. Yeah, that's where all the kids are at, baby. Find that JD and Stacey page. You like it. You send it to a whole bunch of other friends, baby. You tell them to like it. Website coming soon at jdandstacey.com. That's right, checkoffs. If you didn't buy the domain, it's ours. Remember, guys, stick around after the show. 10 o'clock hour going into 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You got the boss, that Ricky Ticky Tavi Rick Robinson, with America Off the Rails. Then after that, Hooples. You get over to Spreaker.com. Hashtag JD and Stacey, JDANDSDACEY. Find the catalog of everything we've been doing here with that Ricky Ticky Tavi Rick Robinson. Good evening, baby.
Good evening.
I would like to give, before we go into anything tonight, for those of you who live under a rock and didn't know it, tonight is the 2016 NFL Draft. And Stacey and I, now Stacey's a Giant fan, and everybody knows JD is all about those. But for our listening audience that's going to hear this tomorrow afternoon at 5 p.m. on that drive time into Yahoo Sports, where there's going to be so much talk about the draft, everybody's going to tune in early and you're going to hear this. Stacey and I want to personally give a little... To all our Philly fans listening to us on that 1360 WNJC AM, baby, you guys just got yourself some Carson Wentz with that number 2 pick. Oh, am I saying he's Donovan McNabb? No way, baby. He ain't got the afro. But I think this kid is unbelievable. He's got Peyton Manning size. He's got incredible movement and speed. Yes, I know. But he played 1AA at North Dakota State, JD and Stacey. I understand that. But he won there. He won a championship. And this doesn't happen often because I think when the seasons go, because I had a friend of mine that lived in Philadelphia, and you got to understand something about Philly sports fans. They're great, but they're awful. Because at the beginning of every season, the Phillies are going to the World Series, the Flyers are winning the Stanley Cup, and the Eagles are going to the Super Bowl. But today, JD and Stacey want to give everybody a very special congratulations with that number 2 pick in that Philly.
Okay, terrific.
Ooh, see, I'm getting better. Now, instead of alienating our listening audience in certain geographic regions, baby, now I'm wrapping them in.
Nice.
You see, all those radio consultants we've had have really helped us out, huh?
Something. When you figured out the people from Iowa actually did stop listening, I think you came around a little bit.
You know what? They can take their ethanol and they can shove it, okay? Okay. All right. All right. So the primary season has been long and drawn out, and everybody's just, so tired of it, baby. There is other news of the world going on. And honestly, to be completely honest, Stacey and I have always shot you straight. The primary right now seems to come down to Indiana. And there's honestly no point in really even going into it until that happens. I hope Ted and Carly right now are barnstorming the state and Donald's plane gets somewhere over the Bermuda Triangle and he doesn't show up. But we'll get back into that when the time is appropriate. Tonight, Stacey and I wanted to focus on this character. Everybody's heard of him. He's the big man of the hour, Mr. Paul Manafort. Who's Paul Manafort, JD and Stacey?
Paul Manafort was the person brought in, I don't know, about 2-3 weeks ago now, the Trump campaign to kind of, do everything Corey Lewandowski was supposed to having been done for months.
Basically what he's called is a consigliere. Corey had the ear of the Don, and then Corey got pinched. And even though over there they didn't prosecute him for his crime, the family needed a new number 2. So what happened? So Don Trump, in Italian, we call him Advaz Paradis, and that means cannot scratch his nuts because his hands are too tiny.
God.
Okay, terrific.
But there's a term that came to my mind, and Stacey and I are going to take a little bit of time going into this story tonight because it really kind of took me aback. And it goes to, and I'll say it tonight even though we're not doing primary stuff because I think it's important. Listen, Trumpkins, hand off Schmeckel, ear on radio. Hand off Schmeckel, ear on radio. Because I keep hearing, and because the trope and the meme of this cycle is that, Ladani, I will pick the very best people. Okay. So Paul Manafort burst on the scene, to Stacey's point, after Corey Lewandowski seemed to take a back seat with his little kerfuffle with Michelle Fields and the possible prosecution down in Florida. Now, when Manafort came on the scene, and I want everybody in the audience to focus on how dishonest or lazy the media is. Because JD and Stacey, baby, have found this. And we have found this from articles that have been written. And I see this guy, I see him on television, and I don't hear any pushback. I think we're gonna initiate a new term tonight, and I think the term tonight is gonna be Trump Mafia. And I think Trump Mafia is a very apropos statement because as soon as Manafort burst on the scene, Stacey, all we heard of, he was the guy, he had Gerald Ford's delegates he held hostage in 1976. But it actually goes a lot further back than that, and it goes back into the early 1980s. This is Donald Trump, turned to Paul Manafort's lobbying firm in Washington, D.C., for help for the Trump Organization. And it was at that time, and this is in the early 80s, that Trump formed close ties with Manafort's then business partner, a man by the name of Roger Stone. You don't mean a Roger Stone that's all over Twitter, do you, Stacey? Yes, that Roger Stone. The one that looks like a cross-dresser in his actual picture. The detestable ass bag right now that is having to backpedal on racist tweets that have been taken down. But folks, as Stacey and I go into this, you may end up finding Roger Stone the most palatable character of all of this. Who is Paul Manafort? Well, he's an alleged Russian mob fixer. And his role as an alleged Russian mob fixer is coming back to haunt him. This is from a Yahoo's news story. A court in the Cayman Islands has sought to question Paul Manafort, Donald Trump's chief campaign aide, to determine what happened to $26.2 million invested by a billionaire Russian oligarch in a Cayman Islands partnership with the political consulting, according to documents obtained by Yahoo News. Court-appointed liquidators. I want you to think about this for a second. Court-appointed liquidators from the Cayman Islands. Yeah. How many bank liquidations do you see come out of the Caymans? Last summer initiated a legal action in federal court in Alexandria, Virginia, seeking to question Manafort and his two business partners under oath about a business deal between them and who? This has just got everything. We have got to make this into a movie because please enter. And Stacey and I are going to take a little time setting this up as we go into it because we feel you need the entire context of this. It's at this point that Manafort gets involved with firms owned by two Russian oligarchs that are friendly to Vladimir Putin. One of them by the name of Oleg Deripaska, a Russian aluminum magnate who for years was barred from entering the U.S. over allegations of ties to organized crime. These guys are chasing their money, said Rick Davis, one of the partners subpoenaed in the case, and the manager of McCain's 2000 presidential campaign, who would not employ Manafort because some of these ties. Do you want to pick it up from here, Stace?
Yeah, basically, this really, really neat Russian, Oleg, gave Manafort and another business partner $26.2 million that just kind of disappeared.
Where did it go, JD Stacey?
Well, we're not exactly sure because Manafort actually didn't respond to questions about it or questions from the folks in the Cayman Islands. We do understand from one of the articles that we read that there were actually some depositions that took place, but as of this point, there is no resolution on where the $26.2 million actually went.
Yes, and at this point, the $26.2 million is short money on the list of things that are involved here. And by the way, the questions that started coming back from the Russian oligarchs basically went like this. Hello? Yes. I must speak to Paul Manafort.
Oh, he is not home? Okay. Please tell him we are coming to kill him because he has stolen our money. Now, let's press pause and jump in the Wayback Machine.
But I mean, the thing about this that really impressed me, is there a place in the entire world, okay, other than maybe Delaware, I don't know, that is quite like the Cayman Islands in terms of covering up shady business deals and not being too worried about regulating what's going on? So the fact that the Cayman Islands came to U.S. federal court to help the Russians find their $26.2 million in and of itself is just amazing.
Now this gets better because I want you, and we're taking time on this for a reason, and this is going to roll over, I think, into the second segment. Because as this comes out, you're going to see Trump at some point, I think, and he's defied political physics, so who knows, have to excise himself from that. But the early 1980s, when he formed his relationship with Roger Stone and Paul Manafort for a little lobbying for the Donald Trump organization, wasn't the last time that Donald Trump crossed paths with Paul Manafort. In 1985, Manafort and his lobbying firm, Black, Manafort, Stone, and Kelly, signed a $1 million contract with who? Philippine Business Group to promote Ferdinand Marcos. Ferdinand Marcos. But wait, with the missing $26.2 million. When did they get in bed and get paid by Ferdinand Marcos? Right before the U.S. took him out. Wow, he made so much money doing that stuff, Jenny and Stacey. He must have got lucky and went away. No, he didn't, because he covers every decade in corruptions. Let's go to the 1990s. In the mid-1990s, Manafort reportedly received almost $90,000 from a Lebanese, Beirut, Lebanon. Beirut, where they had blown up the U.S. Marine barracks just a few years before. So now he's in bed with a Lebanese-born businessman and arms merchant to advise, this is how incestuous geopolitical politics are, to advise French presidential candidate at the time and then Prime Minister Edouard Balladur, a controversial payment that surfaced as part of, get this, a long-running French investigation and dubbed, wait for it, the Karachi affair.
Oh, durka.
Wait a minute. Are we talking about the Karachi, Pakistan? Yes, we are. Allegations rose that those funds, including money that Manafort received, came from an arms sale of French submarines to where? Pakistan.
Well, that wasn't his last dalliance with Pakistan either.
No, but now let's get back into the 2000s and find out a little more about... In 2010, Manafort then gets in bed and helps pro-Russian. Does that mean he likes Vladimir Putin, Jenny and Stacey? Yes, that's exactly what it means. Candidate Viktor Yanukovych remake his tarnished image and win a presidential election in Ukraine. The effort was arguably a high point. I want you to focus on this. What you will hear is Manafort say that he was an integral role of bringing the Ukraine into Europe. No, he wasn't. What he was doing in the Ukraine was helping a shady prime minister tied to the hip to Vladimir Putin by the name of Viktor Yanukovych come to power.
Oh, by the way, was campaigning in Russian, and that's why he lost the first couple times.
Oh, da. Now, please keep in mind, this pro-Putin Ukrainian PM who works with Manafort is there right prior to all the paramilitary forces that the Russians have sent in there with everything they're trying to achieve in Ukraine and Crimea. Now, all the Russians are going...
What happened to that PM?
All of the Russians are going, well, wait a minute, where is our money? Okay. The corporations that they had opened up in order to do business with the shady Russians were in the Cayman Islands, Cyprus, and elsewhere. There was a lawsuit filed in New York by another pro-Putin oligarch, Dmitry Firtash. Yeah. And these included plans to purchase New York's Drake Hotel and develop a high-end resort on the Bahamian island of Bimini. Now, for those of you who are saying to yourself, wow, Jenny and Stacey, there's no way Donald Trump could have known about that.
even though he had started getting in bed with Manafort in the 80s, the Drake Hotel deal was originally put together by none other than Mr. Fred Trump, his great exalted father, who gave me a small loan of $1 million. Now, we're coming into the 20-minute mark on the bottom of the 9 o'clock hour. Stacey and I are going to step out for a second. We're going to pay some bills. We're going to come back, and we're going to tie this up and give you a little more information on the Trump Mafia, baby. But right now, JD and Stacey got to pay some bills. Game on, part of that Conservative Commandos radio network here on K98 Talk. The show growing so fast, even Diamond Dave's got to take us out to break, man.
One break coming up.
This is Slickery Trigger for Rebel Road Tactical. With proper care and feeding, your pistol will be ready when you need it. There to save your life. Shouldn't your gear be that good? Whether you need a holster for comfortable everyday carry or a tough-as-nails holster for your next training course, Rebel Road Tactical has what you need. Check us out on the web at rebelroadtactical.com.
If you like your health care plan, you'll be able to keep your health care plan. This is the most transparent administration in history. Not even a smidgen of corruption.
Fact is, we had 4 dead Americans. What difference at this point does it make?
If you got a business, you didn't build that.
The feeling most people get when they hear Barack Obama's speech, I felt this thrill going up my leg. I mean, I don't have that too often.
Steady.
It's time to hear the truth about America's biggest challenges. Ricky Robinson, host of America Off the Rails, will tackle the important issues facing America today as he tries to keep America from coming off the track. Get ready to hear the truth every Monday through Friday starting at 7 p.m. Eastern, 6 Central, here on K98Talk.com and the Spark Radio Network.
Welcome to the face. Welcome to the face of the new democracy.
Are you conservative in a world of liberal?
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Well, you're not alone. Hey, I'm Daniel Stafford, host of the Stafford Voice, and I'd like to invite you to tune in each Monday, 10 p.m. Eastern, where I'll break down the events of the week, and together we'll learn about how they affect you. So, sit back and get ready for the good, the bad, and the ugly of talk radio right here on K98 Talk.
From the Vikings of Norway to my home down south to Washington, D.C., I've been around. I've seen it all, and I've come out on top. You better beware, for all you know, the bell tolls for you. Enter the bell tower or watch your step. 8 p.m. Thursdays, K98 Talk.
Welcome back, truckers, suckers, and bad. JD and Stacey here. Game on, part of that Conservative Commandos Behavioral Network on that K98 Talk. Hey, everybody right now, get over to K98Talk.org. Get in that chat room. Say hello to Stacey. Join the conversation. Remember, guys, we're live here on K98 Tuesday, Thursday, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time here for Game On. Sunday morning, 11 a.m., curing your mainstream media hangover. Friday, 5 p.m. drive time at WNWNWN, JC 1360 a.m. Serving that Philadelphia, Southern Jersey, Northern Delaware, baby. Remember, guys, after the show, stick around for the boss, the Ricky Ticky Tavi Rick Robinson. I think he's going to be with that J.R. Homestead tonight on that America Off the Rails, heading into the top of the 11 o'clock hour. After that, guys, what are you going to do? I don't know. What are we going to do, JD and Stacey? Going to get over to Facebook. You're going to find that JD and Stacey show page. You're going to like it, baby. You're going to tell 5, 10 friends about it. Then you're going to wait in Braided Beth for that www.jdandstacey.com coming at you. And then while you're doing that, hooples, after the show, not during it, Get over to Spreaker.com, #Brown, JD and Stacey, JDANDSTACEY. Find out all the nonsense and whatever, and some of the stuff can go on AM radio, and some of it we can't put near AM radio, and welcome back, baby.
Hello.
Oh, we back.
So this story gets a lot more interesting.
Hold on. Let me hit the little radio audio my bubble thing here. Hold on. You know, and the funny thing about this, everybody knows Roger Stone from the campaign and the election, but you know, when we started to
by the way, is being investigated by the state police in Indiana.
When we started to look into this, you know, one of the things that leapt out at me is that Manafort has become basically. Before we do that, did you hear the senility-riddled dementia being floated out of the Trump camp that they're going to get Rubio for a unity ticket as his Veep?
You're insane.
Wow.
Okay, terrific.
Oh, my God. It's not even, you know. But this is, I think that we were correct in coining the term tonight, Trump Mafia. You know.
This Firtash guy got arrested or indicted by a federal grand jury in Chicago for conspiracy to bribe an Indian government official. He's arrested in Vienna, and he's got an active Interpol warrant, but won't leave, I believe it is Austria, because otherwise he gets turned into U.S. authorities.
When Stacey says Indian, that's call centers, not casinos.
Yes. Okay. And then, wow. And then the other prime minister, whose name I can't pronounce, over in Ukraine, that guy was actually kicked out of office and is now living in Russia.
To pick back up, Stacey's talking about Prime Minister Yulia Tymoshenko. Yeah, please make sure you spell my name right in all paper when you put me in there, da? So now, the sainted Paul Manafort that has been involved in deals with arms dealers in the 80s with French former shady prime ministers connected back to arms deals in Pakistan, to being in bed with Putin here in 2000, wrapped up with the Trump family, Fred and Lil Donnie and Fred since the 1980s, now gets mentioned after 3 decades of skullduggery.
Just being a scalebag.
Right. Now Manafort's business deals were part of a racketeering scheme to launder hundreds of millions of dollars through a labyrinth of Firtash is Russian number 2, controlled companies in Panama, Cyprus, and Europe for the benefit of Yanukovych. Who's Yanukovych? I'm losing track. He's the first prime minister who was pro-Putin that spoke Russian that he went to go buff up his image. Now, the lawsuit gets tossed out by a federal judge in New York last fall because the judge says, all right, this is great, but you got a bunch of shady mobsters with money that disappeared in the Cayman Islands. What do you want from me? And then what lands on the judge's desk? Emails and memos and documents detailing meetings between those people, the shady Russians, and Manafort in Kiev, and a copy of an agreement to create a limited partnership with Russian number 2, registered in the Cayman Islands, signed by Manafort in April of 2009. 2 years ago, Russian number 2 gets indicted by a federal grand jury in Chicago for, to Stacey's point, bribing call center officials, not casinos. Now, the New York suit comes out of an Alexandria suit that came up in 2007. And here, back to what Stacey, I want you to think about this. The Cayman Islands, which is known like Switzerland for its shady lockdown banking practices, find it so egregious when the Russians try to claw back this money. So Stacey spoke about the original $26.2 million. Now, in 2008, with the same Russians, there's another $18.9 million paid to a shady shell company in Cyprus called Pericles, and that were controlled by Manafort.
and one of his associates, Gates, for the purchase of Black Sea Cable. Now, why is 2008 important? Because in 2008, the world economy blows up, and it's here that we enter the Russians. And the Russians go, I do not care for who Paul Manafort knows. I want my money. These are people who, when they were asked, one of them stuck because I think Austria won't extradite him. One of them is a Putin ally, and the last time he was interviewed said, yes, of course I have Kremlin connections. I needed their permission to go into business. Now, what happens between 2008 and the federal suit in New York last fall? They literally have in a court filing that it says that Manafort and his associates seem to have simply disappeared. Until when, Miss Lennox?
Until Paul Manafort started making the rounds of the Sunday TV shows a couple weeks ago.
Exactly. Now let me ask you a very simple question. Are Russian oligarchs who are friendly with Vladimir Putin, are they known for losing between $50 and $100 million lightly?
I don't think so.
No. This is what happens if you're lucky. If not, they slowly peel you by pieces over days. Now, it has been floated that Manafort dug himself like a tick into the Trump campaign and has been making the rounds of the shows as a life insurance policy on himself. Stacey, let me ask you a question. As this becomes more and more unraveled, should the press ever do their job, how is Donald Trump and the Trump family ever going to backpedal and say they didn't really know this guy that well when their involvement and their relationship with him and Roger Stone literally go back to the 80s and actually wrap his father, Fred Trump, into this?
There is no way that Stone didn't know about Manafort. You know, the scuttlebutt is that Manafort came into the campaign on Stone's, glowing recommendation. There's no way, unless, a close associate like Roger Stone just kept some of the shadier details away from Donald Trump. But the other really nifty thing about this is when Trump was expressing some frustration after that leaked video of the meeting Manafort had with the RNC where he said, oh, he's just playing a pot. Mm-hmm. It was kind of like, why am I just finding out about some of this stuff? Dude, Google it. No, this stuff is readily available online.
No, Stacey, he has had a personal relationship with Manafort and Stone that goes back to the early 80s, continued in 85, and goes to back as recently as the Drake Hotel deal that his father wrapped them all up to sponsor. There is no way that he can't walk back and just say that, oh, well, this was sloppy, and, what do you expect me? I'm a billionaire, I don't have Google on the plane, and Bing sucks, and I use Bing, and they didn't know about Manafort. No.
Well, I know, but the other thing was when they announced Manafort, you had a bunch of GOP faithful. Oh, that's a really good pick. He did such a good job. That's the man for the job. They all had to know, too.
Well, here, you know what? Sandy just hit the point of all of this. Because Trumpkins, listen up. Hand off Schmeckel, ear on radio. Hand off Schmeckel, ear on radio.
We know you're listening.
Do we? You know what I wonder? I wonder if some of our listeners don't hear better if they take out the 3 teeth they got left, just so that the airwaves kind of flow over the gums a little bit and get up into that moonshine-addled, idiotic Walter Mitty head of theirs. Hey, put that in your case file, jerk off.
Literally, woman posted a meme today with Trump's face in the cloud like he was a vision of God himself. I literally lost it. I can't do that anymore.
Because, Sister Stacey, this election is no longer about politics and ideology. Lord, praise Jesus. This is about seeing the face of the Lord in your candidate. This is about demigods and demons. This ain't your father's election, baby. Oh, no, Lord, hell no.
And thanks to John Boehner for bringing Lucifer into the mix.
Oh, Lordy Jesus, with the devil himself, please get out of this election. I cast it.
Okay, terrific.
I don't think you can ever use enough of the church music. Hold on a second. I got to hit the little audio man in the boat. Hold on a second. All right, we got that. But, you know, and this goes back to Sandy's point, is that he doesn't hire the best people.
No, he really doesn't.
This is a Potemkin village. This is the Emperor Has No Clothes. And before you start yelling and tweeting and spitting all over yourself, you Trumpkin idiots, listen to me for a second.
Wipe your chin. Wipe your chin.
Yeah, wipe your chin for a variety of reasons. And that goes for Hannity and Bowling especially. Wipe that chin. Andrea Tanterios can't even come back on, but that's a different story. But so, to Sandy's point, you know, are the elections rigged and the primaries and all this BS? You want to know why? If he's such a great deal maker and he hires the best, if he hires the best people, one, why did they have no idea inside that campaign about the delegate ground game and how it would matter? And two, if he's such a great deal maker, baby, how come he's not the one in that string of delegates that Cruz locked up who were unbound? How come he didn't get them? Let me ask you a question, Trumpkins. Hand up Schmeckel here on radio. If he picks the best people, why has he been in bed with this international money laundering criminal Manafort? Yes, I said it, since the 1980s. Why?
Well, because he's in bed with a bunch of money laundering American criminals as a regular thing. His mob ties are well documented.
And that's what we're bringing into the White House. So, Trumpkins, you know, this is not, and you know, look, facts don't faze Trumpkins. So we're going to hear, this is a nothing burger. JD and Stacey, where would you like to start again? Him being a muckraking delegate hostage taker in the 70s? His shady arms dealing through the 80s? His getting involved with the Lebanese in the 90s? Or Putin and the Russians?
Pakistan shell company for their spy organization?
Or Putin and the Russians as recently as a few years ago. And now he sits ascended at the right hand of the orange little man, baby.
Oh, but not just that. If you listened very, very carefully to what some call a foreign policy speech yesterday, we're just going to give Vladimir Putin a big old hug. And we're going to make great deals that are great for America and for Russia. What's the last deal that was great for both of us?
This is not about what's best for both of us. Look, if Ted Cruz had somebody in his campaign, if Carly Fiorina had somebody in her campaign, if Marco Rubio had somebody in his campaign like this, it would worry me just as much. And you know what's going to happen in Trump land?
Oh, absolutely. You know, and if they did, they'd be finished.
The Trump mafia is going to grab all of its lemmings.
You can act like a man. What's the matter with you?
And they're going to circle the wagons around this because this is a real story. This is not a nothing burger. So for all this nonsense that you keep hearing by all the talking heads and the pundits out there about, hey, listen, you know, Trump really didn't know this guy Manafort too well. Yes, he did. Why? Because JD and Stacey have a 6-figure budget and a team of reporters out on this? No, but we've done our homework, and it's pretty well researched and written about. As a matter of fact, as far as show prep goes, the average article on this subject was larger than almost anything we've ever done. This information is widely available to anybody who would like to see it. So the next time you see this half a gangster on Fox News being interviewed and asked questions about his experience and his time in Washington and helping the Ukraine come back into Europe, just sit there, but don't hold your breath while you're doing it, and hope that some reporter with some kind of temerity or integrity comes back and actually asks a couple of questions. It seems that I have lost my beautiful and brilliant co-host here for the minute, baby. But right now, it's time to take a break for the third segment, baby. JD and Stacey here came on that K98 Talk, fastest hour in conservative radio, coming into its last segment. Stay tuned, guys. We'll be right back.
everybody. This is Jason, host of According to Me. I'd like to invite you to check out my show. It's a 2-hour show that lasts 60 minutes in...
Listen, I hate to interrupt, but one thing I can do is read off a script. Just say, let me be clear a lot. It works.
President Obama, I can handle this. It's a radio promo. I'm not green. I've done this before.
Did someone say green?
Now, Al Gore is here. Listen, I'm just trying to record a radio promo. Do you mind?
Now, do you say good things about me on the show?
No, not at all. But if it makes you feel any better, I rip on Republicans just as much.
The AM radio frequencies give off very high levels of radiation.
Look, my show is on the internet, which you invented. Can I just do my promo?
I got a pen. I can veto that, you know.
I know you got a pen. It's not a law. It's a radio promo. Listen, just listen to my show. Barack Obama and Al Gore hate it, so you're going to love it.
Here's an executive order. Don't listen to his show. He doesn't like me. He's racist. And he doesn't recycle either.
That's it. I'm done. It's According to Me, Wednesdays, 10 p.m. Eastern, right here on K98 Talk.
I'm easy like Sunday morning.
Wondering why you're up early with us on a Sunday morning making a cocktail? News lately got you drinking? Hung over from the mainstream media by Sunday? We are, and we got you covered.
We sure do. We got your hangover cure for those weekly news blues. So sit back, top off your mimosa, and add some Baileys to that coffee.
Take a match to your copy of the New York Times. Light, funny, and oh yeah, news with booze.
And a lot of laughter.
Welcome to Bloody Marys and Broadsheets. If it's Sunday, it's Bloody Marys and Broadsheets.
We're your cure from your weekly news hangover.
We will never fully understand what we've asked of our military service members or their families, asking them to put themselves in harm's way, to endure it all. But we do understand that it's our turn, our duty, to keep them secure for the rest of their lives. Wounded Warrior Project long-term support programs help our most severely ill or injured veterans live independently, at no cost, for life, so that they might stand at ease. Join us at findwwp.org.
K98 Talk is expanding its lineup for 2015. This means we are expanding our advertising base. Whether you're a startup trying to push through to the next level or an established business trying to supplement your advertising budget, web-based advertising is a solid investment. Thanks to Talk's newest partnership with TuneIn Radio and instant access to our sister station, K98 FM, we give you worldwide access at a reasonable cost. Interested parties should email us at sales@k98fm.com.
Have no fear, grab your gear. She's back, and Stacey's right here, baby. Welcome back to everybody. JD and Stacey here. Game on that K98 Talk. Everybody, K98Talk.org. Chat room, Stacey, Ron, send them naked picture. Remember, guys, after the show, stick around for the boss. That Riggy Ticky Tavi Rick Robinson and America Off the Rails with that guest host, J.R. Homestead, taking you to 11 o'clock hour. After that, get over to Spreaker.com. Hash Brown, JD and Stacey. JDANDSTACEY. Find a catalog of everything we've been doing here with that Riggy Ticky Tavi Rick Robinson and all the various platforms we're on. And for those of you who like to kick radio shows off platforms because they're on multiple platforms, let me be the first one to say to you, get over your ego and get on the bus with Chapo Jeebus. Welcome back, baby. You with us?
I'm here. I don't know. My internet just went into the vapors.
Yeah, that. Well, you want to know why? You want to know why? You know why?
Why?
Right? I'll tell you exactly why.
Oh.
See, back in the turn of the century, at the times, we known as Italians, we controlled the docks. But today, in the 2016, in the Trump Mafia, we have control of the interweb connections. This is how I know how I could meet my wife. It was in the Russian nearby.
Oh, wow.
Okay, terrific.
I told you, I saw it was that beautiful interview on Good Morning America. I advise everybody go watch it with Melania Trump. It's so heartwarming. He's like, yeah, she's like, so my cousin, I have to marry cousin when I was 12, yeah? Okay, not very nice. And then I live in hut in village. Then one day, big orange man with crazy hair and tiny hands land plane in village. He come take me away. Now I be first lady.
Oh, God.
Oh, my God. She's a piece of work. Okay. If JD says no fighting in the temple, what's the first thing that everybody thinks? They think, oi, hold on a second. There's no valet parking. We're going to start a fight. Baby.
Everybody was kung fu fighting.
Oh, God.
Those kids were fast as lightning. In fact, it was a little bit frightening.
I'm holding on to the point where they talk about the funky China man from funky Chinatown. This is who this story's about, baby, right here.
There were funky Chinamen from funky Chinatown. They were chopping.
Okay, terrific.
Wasn't the 70s
They're not really in Chinatown, though.
Tomato. Everybody's under 5 feet and is afraid of Godzilla. So this is from the Daily Mail. That's not very zen. Bizarre moment. Members of the public had to pull apart 3 Buddhist monks for brawling at the Buddhist temple.
They're Buddhist.
The last play. You know what though? I saw a brawl at a Pink Floyd concert. This has got to be the same thing. So for all of you, and this is what's great. This is actually one of those points where I think it's okay that everybody in America doesn't pay attention and doesn't know much. Yes, they're Buddhist, but if you look at them, like, this is really like Shaolin monk style. I mean, right out of David Carradine in the 70s Kung Fu movies. There is, because God loves us, there is video of this. Because footage has emerged of 3 monks. What were the 3 monks doing, JD and Stacey? Well, they were doing this.
Everybody was kung fu fighting. Those kids were...
They were basically beating the crap out of each other.
Footage has emerged of 3 monks in an altercation at a temple. And for those of you who went to public school, no, not Jewish, in China's Jiangsu province on April 24th. The head monk at the temple has dismissed all of those involved in the punch-up, according to people. Oh, God. What?
One of the monks wearing yellow is even hitting another on the head with a mobile phone. So not just are they beating the crap out of each other, they're breaking cell phones over each other's heads.
Wait a minute. Why? I am not the smartest man on the planet. Why the hell are the... Hey, let me ask you a question there, Edith. What's with the Buddhist monks and the cell phones? I thought they were like a vow of poverty and no technology there.
I have no idea, but then the good monk tried to make him stop, and the head monk has now dismissed all of the fighting monks and said they're done.
Let me tell you something, and I didn't think of it until I didn't even think of this until right now. JD actually has a I got in a fight with a Buddhist monk story. Swear to God. So you remember the last deal at a firm I was working on when I was doing the Wall Street?
Yeah.
Okay. So
the thing.
Right. So it was right near launch time, and I think it was a Saturday. So I'm going into the office to put some things together, and I'm walking towards the office, and I'm just, it's Saturday, man. Nobody wants to be going to work. The deal's been going on for about 3 years. We just wanted to get it public, have it done. And I'm walking, and I'm living in my head. Well, this is the city, so there's like 1 billion people everywhere. And while I'm walking, and you got every detestable jerk-off protesting ass bag somewhere, and I turn around, and there is just the most peaceful-looking Buddhist monk. And he goes, peace, peace. And I looked at him, I'm like, my brother, that's what I'm saying, baby, peace. Yeah, and I kept walking. And he's like, oh, and he comes up behind me, and he's like, oh, please sign book. I'm like, huh? And I'm looking, and it's like, yeah, Bob from the UK, and da-da-da-da-da. I'm like, what the hell is this? He's like, he's the peace book. You signed it. Oh, okay, great. He gives me a little Buddhist scroll, and I'm feeling so good. So JD's about to sign the peace book. So I signed the peace book, and I give it back to my man, and I shake his hand. I'm like, my man, peace, pound it. I start walking. Now he gets pissed. And he's tugging on me. I'm like, what do you want from me, man? You gave me peace. You gave me a scroll. I signed your book. What do you want?
So he takes his little Buddhist monk finger and starts pointing at the last little column on the right of the book you were supposed to sign. And in there was the donation you were supposed to give for this guy to tell you peace and give you a scroll. And it was on.
Only you. Hey, did you hear the guy that came over here and did some big Christian music tour? I forget which country he was from. And they had like $30,000 that they had raised to send, I think it was back over to Bangladesh.
What the
and he
hell
gets
are you
pulled
talking
over somewhere in the Northeast, and they pick him up, and he's got cash. So they impound his car, and they're searching him for drugs and everything else. And they basically took it. I forget what the term is. It was like, we'll just take this now and try you later. The guy was doing Christian rock tours to give money to a school in Bangladesh, and he got all his money and property taken by the government. I thought that was just
You know what that teaches you, Christian rock people? You know what that teaches you, Christian rock people? Raise the money and put it back into the community. The hell with the Bangladeshis.
I think he was actually Bangladeshi.
Oh, whatever. But he's getting the money here. Let him go have okay. So JetBlue pilots are evidently flying drunk.
Yeah, that I hate to fly. That story actually gave me the willies.
New York Post, baby. JetBlue pilot busted for flying drunk. Where? To JFK. Of course. Where do I live? Very close to JFK. Great. So now we got drunk pilots. JetBlue pilot gave new meaning to plane buzzing by flying a packed flight from Orlando to JFK while drunk. So he's taking all the little kids back from Disneyland to New York, and he's hammered. He blew a .111. Triple the FAA limits. Here's the best part. So the report goes, the pilot was red-faced and chewing gum. So this idiot tells them, I blew a 111 because I was chewing gum. So he spit the gum out, and he blows a .091. Now, this is the fascinating part of the story. That Murphy, who was the name of the pilot, asked the collector. Now, this guy just started working for JetBlue in 2015. He asked the guy who was taking his blood to see if he was drunk why he was being tested, one, so soon after starting employment with JetBlue, and then asked why he was being tested for alcohol instead of controlled substances.
And it was a random test.
Which means that if this idiot thought he was getting tested for alcohol, he would have been doing drugs instead and flying the plane.
Okay, but the best part of this entire story is Murphy checked himself into rehab last year to kick his alcohol problem, a relative told the Post, and he's now working as a substitute teacher making $900 a month.
No, wait a second.
You'd have to be drunk to teach in New York City schools.
No. But when the hell was it? Okay. This is April 21st. What is today? The 28th? Okay? Mm-hmm. Literally a week ago, 1 week ago today, he was taken, tested, and found to be a drunk JetBlue pilot. And as of the writing of this story, a week later, he is now working as a substitute teacher. I can't. Anybody want to wonder why your kids aren't learning anything? Because they're being taught by drunk JetBlue pilots. Oh, my God in heaven. I can't. I got fighting Buddhists. I got drunk pilots. Are you still with me or did you drop again?
I said, now we got two people fighting over a cat.
Oh, please. Can we do... Let's. You know what this reminded me of? All right. So remember the crackhead... but really funny drunk mayor who died up in Toronto, Rob Ford, who passed away recently. Miami evidently has their own Rob Ford, huh?
I'm not sure he smokes crack. He might be doing those roids though, the bodybuilder thing.
Yeah, but this is a fight over a cat.
They never got into the details about what the fight over the cat was all about, though. That's what I wanted to know.
The arrest report says the verbal when the argument took place was also blacked out. The report didn't name the woman. Basically, this guy, how old is this guy? 60. Basically, he nails the woman up against the wall, and somehow
spits in her face.
And somehow,
somehow ends up getting charged with battery over a cat there, Edith. I got to tell you something. When it's time for me to smack somebody, I mean it ain't going to be no cat.
Wait, before we get out of here, we can't get out of here. I read this and I almost went running for the hills.
I'm sorry. I was actually hoping we ran out of time because I'm done with robots.
But the little creepy robot spiders. This is from the Business Insider.
They're called spiders because of the number of arms they have, not because they're like looking like actual spiders.
They look like a cross between Johnny Five, the robot in Short Circuit, and some creepy horror movie monster. But the fastest hour in conservative radio, unfortunately, kids, is just wrapping up. We want to thank everybody for joining Stacey and I tonight. We hope you join us again tomorrow, Friday, 5 p.m. on that 1360 WNJC. For new listeners, this is the part of the show where I look at my beautiful co-host and I say, baby girl, baby girl, baby girl, you got those keys?
Oh, please get me out of here.
Tell the nice people where they can find you.
Oh, you can find me on Twitter at @ScottsFire, SCOTSFYRE. Wow. And you can also find me on Facebook at Stacey Lennox.
And you can find me at Game On JD on the Twitters. For tonight, one night only. People always looking to kill me, so I'll still have the vest on, see if I live through it. However, no Barstools, no alleyways, no seedy situations. Just want to see who my New York Jets are picking with the 20th pick in the NFL draft. We'll discuss it on Sunday.
I'm looking for you, you Occupy freaks with your glitter bombs. Bring it on! Bring on the glitter. Everything has changed. Everything has changed in the last few years. Conservatives used to take it, and we're not taking it anymore.
If you want to work until you keel over, have less of everything in retirement, or give back more of your hard-earned money to the stock market again, then just ignore me. But if you'd like to protect the money you save, receive a steady, predictable retirement income, and enjoy financial security for as long as you live, then listen to this. You can download a free report that reveals the wealth-building secrets Wall Street and the banks don't want you to know. You'll learn how you can get guaranteed growth, safety, and real prosperity without risking your money in the Wall Street casino, and how to get the money you need when you need it, simply by asking for it. This is the best way to have a 100% secure retirement and know your money will last as long as you do. To learn more about this method and to get your free report, go to 29security.com. That's the number 29security.com. 29security.com. Go to 29security.com. If you want to work until you keel over, have less of everything in retirement, or give back more of your hard-earned money to the stock market again, then just ignore me. But if you'd like to protect the money you save, receive a steady, predictable retirement income, and enjoy financial security for as long as you live, then listen to this. You can download a free report that reveals the wealth-building secrets Wall Street and the banks don't want you to know. You'll learn how you can get guaranteed growth, safety, and real prosperity without risking your money in the Wall Street casino, and how to get the money you need when you need it, simply by asking for it. This is the best way to have a 100% secure retirement and know your money will last as long as you do. To learn more about this method and to get your free report, go to 29security.com. That's the number 29security.com. 29security.com. Go to 29security.com.
That's not how it works. That's not how any of this works.